Welcome to day one of our sneak peek into coaching. Today I'm going to start off by sharing with you my story of how I got onto my personal journey for me, and then how I turned that into an opportunity with coaching. So I've always considered myself to be an active person, and I always have felt like I was a pretty motivated or driven person. I had goals, I had passions. I was an elementary school teacher. I always wanted to be a mom, and I was always active and fit myself. And so when Nick and I had our babies, they're 18 months apart, we shortly after Avery, our second, was born, moved to Portugal overseas. And after having my second, I wasn't in as great of shape as I was after having my first or before. And it was a tough time because Avery was about 4 and 5 months old, and we moved across the ocean to Portugal, where we were in this foreign country with another language, and Nick was working busy hours, long hours, and traveling, and I didn't have anything that belonged to just me there. I didn't have time that was just mine. I didn't have a career or even a role for myself, like outside of being a mom and a wife and living there. There wasn't something that was just mine. And time over and over, it, I guess, wore me down, and I started to realize later, looking back, that I felt a little bit lost with myself, and I had also gained weight, not realizing how much I had gained. I knew that I wasn't uncomfortable in my skin. I was tired all the time. I was unmotivated. I didn't really feel like getting up and doing stuff. I was snippy with the kids, and I was just sort of at my wit's end. And I met my coach at the time through Facebook, in a Facebook group not about fitness, and she would say, hey, why don't you try this? Hey, why don't you? Hey, I run these groups. And I would be like, no. And so we moved back home to Philadelphia, and we were settling into a temporary house. We were house hunting. Nick was starting training for his deployment. And we had 1 month solid of going to a local gym. And just when I decided I would sign up, they dropped their childcare. And so I was like, okay, it's now or never. This is my option to try this at-home thing and see if it works. So I signed up in November of 2015. And boy, am I glad that I did. By January, I decided to sign up to become a discount coach, because I was like, okay, I went from being the girl who doesn't drink shakes and is going to return it to the girl who realizes the incredible value of the shake and what's in it, and knew that I would be drinking it regularly and wanted to save a little bit of money, to March, 2 more months later, realizing that now I was in a time in my life, a unique time in my life, where I had this opportunity in front of me, and there was no reason not to seize it. So I needed something for myself. I don't want to be dramatic and say that coaching is life-saving, but it certainly filled and continues to fill a greater purpose in my life. At that time, obviously, Nick was deployed. I had the 2 kids and not a ton of help, and I needed this. As much as I wanted to help other people, like someone helped me, that fulfilled me in such a way that I actually needed. I needed to feel that I had purpose. I needed to feel passionate again about something. I needed a distraction at night so I didn't remember that I was alone, or so that I didn't worry about him all the time. So I dove headfirst every night after I put these kids to bed and met up with my virtual coach friends online and learned about this job, and tons of personal development. My TV shows became my audiobooks and my YouTube videos. My phone calls and date nights out that I couldn't get anymore without sitters became virtual meetings and Zoom calls with Beachbody coaches. I started connecting with more and more people, and it was so meaningful to me, and it fulfilled me in a time that I really needed it. So I cannot be more grateful for when this opportunity came into my life and simply just what it provided me during this time of deployment. But I know that that was just the beginning, and now I feel I can really tap more into my passion and my purpose of helping people feel better in their skin and about themselves, for their families, for their self, for their children, for a bigger purpose. And so that is sort of how I got into coaching. And it's also awesome for us because, as you know, if you don't know, we travel quite a bit and move around. And so I definitely need something that's a bit more portable. And so it fulfills my former teacher side of me in, wanting to help others. And it fulfills my Bar Method fitness side, which I'm still able to actually do here, which is nice. And it kind of wraps it all up nicely with this job about being portable and just being able to live something that's so meaningful to my heart. So that is my story about coaching, and now I want you to tell me, what did you think coaching is, and what do you think it is now? Is there a difference from what you thought before hearing my story, or maybe some other things you've already seen? So what do you think coaching is? Drop that below. Talk to you guys tomorrow.